What's
guys? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Barbell Brigade podcast. I'm Nadeem.
I'm Mike.
What's up, guys? I'm Stacey.
Hey.
So Stacey's joining us today. And for today's episode, we want to talk to you guys, or basically I want to ask you guys, how do you guys get over an injury physically, not mentally?
A broken heart syndrome. This is something I think about.
Have you been injured before?
My broken heart?
Oh my God.
My achy breaky heart?
An injury like from lifting.
I'm actually pretty blessed in the scheme of the scope. The way to prevent injury is preparation. And I've been prepared my whole life.
I thought you just had like a crazy back injury. You could only like.
But I didn't like explode my back. So I've had a back issue my entire life. I went to a chiropractor when I was 7th and 8th grade. I don't know what's wrong still. Because no one has answers. Everyone thinks they have answers. No one has answers. All the comments are going to be like, oh, Mike, you probably have this. You're wrong as well. So I've had issues with my back. And then playing basketball competitively so long, it would get out of whack sometimes. And then obviously if you deadlift and try to push your deadlift to the next level for 10 years.
It was just hurt like randomly? Like
sometimes. The first time I remember is 7th grade, just waking up one day and like it hurt to walk. Like my low back just felt
Were you playing sports
weak.
at the time?
Yeah, I played basketball my whole life.
Oh.
But I don't remember like a impact or something,
okay.
you know?
Yeah.
But it is hard mentally. It is hard mentally to come back from one. But scheme of things, I've never busted an arm. I've never.
Well, when you talk about injuries and you say like there was never a big impact, I remember when I was in college, my athletic trainer, she said it takes a lot of bad reps that your body will put up with and your body will actually go through. And then one day, like that one rep that wasn't even your max weight or it wasn't even anything super huge will be the rep that just like makes everything worse.
Yeah.
You know?
I never got injured from a max.
Football?
I got injured
Wait,
in
did you
football
play
and
sports
wrestling.
before?
Yeah,
yeah, football and wrestling.
Then I've been injured many times from lifting.
Yeah.
But it was never like a max.
And I think because when we're maxing out, we're actually preparing for the lift and we're like really into it and you're hyped and you're like bracing everything, you know, as opposed to when you're just like training on a regular day to day, you're like, oh, I've done this 1,000 times. I don't really need to worry about it. I don't really need, you know what I mean? And it's the rep that you don't think it's going to happen on that you're like, wait.
Yeah,
something doesn't feel right.
Could be, but it's like also my form is pretty shit when I get to like my maxes. Like squat and bench is pretty good, but like I've always injured myself doing the deadlift and my deadlift form sucked.
What does your deadlift form look like?
It's like cat back. Right?
I do too though, but I brace really well.
Yeah.
And I've never been injured from cat back.
Yeah, I think when you have good technique, good form, good programming, good sleep, nutrition, all these things, you're lowering the likeliness of injury, but you're going to get injured. Like if you play any sport at a high level, your risk of injury goes up. Yeah, your risk of injury goes up. And if you lift weights to constantly improve yourself, your risk goes up.
Right.
If you lift weights casually and you're just trying to kind of get a pump every day, you do some machines, maybe some free weights here and there for general health. Yeah, your chances
that feels really good.
Yeah, you're less likely to get
chilling.
injured. But if you're squatting 300 pounds and now you really want to squat 315, and 3 years from now you're trying to squat 365, you're pushing your body to absolute limits. Good form, bad form. The otherwise, something might happen. I mean, the same thing as the NBA, NFL. Like those guys are the freak. Literally, the NBA and NFL are the top freaks in the entire planet, and they still get injured. Like we're just human.
Have you been injured recently?
No, because I haven't been competing or training super hard recently. I think anytime that so I did CrossFit for a long time. Yeah. And I was actually never injured through CrossFit.
Damn, your nails are hella long, by the way.
They're not that long. No, but anyway, I never got injured through CrossFit where it was like I have to take time off, you know? Yeah, I've had knee pain since I was younger because I played college volleyball.
And you're 6'6".
I'm not 6'6". But anyway, it's not my fault you're like 5'1". But so I would have knee pain and I even have it every once in a while now. But I notice that the pain only comes when I'm like dehydrated or when I'm so fucking sore that all of my muscles are just like pulling on my knee muscles. Yeah. You know, but I know what to do to prevent it and to not get to that point.
I think that's what it is. Like the prevention, like you said, like taking all the steps necessary. Because I got injured from wrestling, like dropping on the knee and then taking that into football and then hitting someone. And I remember this, like the time it happened, like they say when you hit someone, you're supposed to keep running through. And I didn't do that. I planted my foot. I stopped. No. He went down, luckily. And so it looked good on me, but then I just remember like a sharp pain, right? Yeah. So we think it was a torn meniscus when I got like checks up and everything, and I did all the tests. But they were like, you don't need surgery. Yeah. Like the way they checked it, like they said it's on the outside, it could go away. But from wrestling, dropping on my knee like grinds like crazy. So I'm like, okay, like I didn't squat or do anything because my knee was swollen for like 2 years. Right. You know, I did my first powerlifting meet without squatting. I just did bench and deadlift.
Push pull.
But just taking the time and getting my knee stronger and not being afraid, because it didn't hurt when I squatted. I was just like so afraid of getting back into it.
Right.
But I was just like, okay, like just do the steps to get my knee stronger, and then the pain went away. It still cracks. It still like hurts. Like it hurts like once a week when I squat, right when I'm warming up. But once that pain happens, then I'm good.
Yeah, I think the physical part is fairly easy in the scheme of things. I just interviewed a sports psych who works with a bunch of Olympic athletes, pro athletes. 50% Facts on iTunes. Check it out. Brand new podcast.
Plug.
But basically what he talked about and what we discussed is kind of like there's kind of two main camps coming back from injury. There's the camp that like pussyfoots around and like won't load the bars, now a hypochondriac. They're scared to do anything in the gym because they're coming back from injury. And then there's the other guy who you can call the dumbass, you can call him whatever you want, and he's like, feel good, and loads it back up and goes back to his max. And obviously we want to be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But the most important part is building the routine back and building confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
And building confidence with that body part, and perhaps finding a mentor, a coach, or resources around you that can give you more feedback in what you're doing. Because if you're playing your own mental game day in, day out, how's my back feel? How's it something's, you're probably going to misread what condition you're in, ready to go. Whereas you do obviously need to get some internal dialogue going and teach yourself. But if you have coaches, support system, doctors, physical therapists, people that you really trust helping guide you, you can get that confidence back.
Right.
Maybe a little
And
quicker.
I think the average person who goes to the gym and does powerlifting probably doesn't. And something that's like has to be noticed is that, for example, when we played sports when we were younger in college, and you know,
I'm
professionals,
still young, by the way.
Yeah,
Debatable.
you're the oldest here, but anyway, professionals, when they play sports, there's seasons to the sport, right? So there's time off within the sport. And I think what's happening now, especially like in powerlifting and CrossFit and the bodybuilding world or whatever the case may be, these athletes are going year round.
Yeah. That's the smartest thing you've ever said, Stacey.
Bitch.
That's true. No, I think it's huge for powerlifters in particular. They'll be maxing out at a competition,
seasons.
and then they'll hop right back in and
Yeah.
like, oh, heavy ass squat sets of 10.
And
like,
what's
chill out, bro.
what's happening is that these coaches that they're going to are not qualified
They're
to
idiots,
be coaching.
Call them out.
And so I'm not calling anybody out.
Say their name.
The real tea is that it comes down to having somebody who knows what it's like to be in a sport, and that tells you, you know what, you need to take 2 months off. And even if you're like, no, I really want to max out, taking the time off, you have to take the time off in order to get stronger.
Well, I think it's just a lifting mentality. It's like it feels
You always
bad.
want more?
Like you feel worse doing the lighter weights, but it's like, what are you in this for to be strong today or be strong?
Yeah. Or
forever,
just
or
not, if you're a powerlifter, not squat, deadlift, and bench for a couple weeks is okay. But
Yeah.
in your head, it's not. Like,
It-
no,
well,
it's going to go away.
Or
Like,
you-
A lot of
all
these
right,
people,
bro.
like, they feel like the gym is the most part of the day. It brings the happiness, and it should. Like, it's a fun thing, you know?
Right.
So for them, like, being away from that's the real pain.
For sure.
You know? That's what gets them, but they don't see that it's, like, time moves quick. A year's going to go by tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're either prolonging your injury and, like, doing all
Right.
these things, and then you're going to probably mess you up mentally because the same issue hasn't gone away.
Yeah,
Like,
lingering.
For me, like, I kept benching when I wasn't supposed to bench when I, like, hurt my chest, right? Well, I kept going too heavy, right? And the pain is still here after years. So now it's like I'm like taking time off from bench, but if I took like a month or two, just like laid low, did active recovery, did stuff like maybe more push-ups, all these other things, and like got like work done on my chest,
Right.
I probably wouldn't have dealt with that ever again.
Right.
Right. And the way you have to think about it is your body is like super fucking awesome, right? Something happens to it.
Well, mine is.
And your body's trying to recuperate from it and like trying to heal itself. And so when you're doing benching, when you're have a tore pec, let's say, or you have a tear or something, your body's just trying to help you out, and you're just going against it by continuing to lift heavy or by doing what people tell you not to do. The majority of us don't have doctors, don't have experts, don't have expert coaches looking at us while we're doing these things. So the best thing you can do is allow your body to take the time and know that you have your whole life to compete in the sport, which is the great thing about like powerlifting and, you know, weightlifting and CrossFit. It's that you can do these things as an adult.
Yeah, but it's a double-edged sword because you could do it forever.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
because it's a long game, you have to realize that time off is necessary. Like athletes like football players, basketball players, volleyball players that are playing professionally or in college, they have to make the most out of their time because they only get those 4 years. But the rest of us, you know, these are sports that we do for fun. Most of us are not getting paid for it. So
Well, that's why also a lot of like sports, the second you get like a small injury, you redshirt.
You're right. You take a year off.
You take a year off.
Yeah,
you do it like properly because you want to use your time
wisely. Yeah, correct.
You want the textbook answer now, Nats?
Go ahead.
So we need to manage workload.
I just see like everyone hopping off the video.
Yeah, and heading to my YouTube channel to get real information. Manage your workload. Be able to functionally move in the range of motion and just beyond that you need to accomplish for your sport. Yep. So if you need to squat, do you need to be able to rub your butthole on the ground? Probably not, but you should be able to get a couple inches deeper than you need to with load. Right. That's going to allow you to be safe. You need to get professionals if you can, a physical therapist you trust, maybe a masseuse you trust, something like that. Get a team, get a coach, get a mentor, and then continue to build confidence with yourself and your body long term. Take it slow coming back, but don't pussyfoot around. Follow us all on Instagram, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye, guys.